Welcome back. Uh, we had discussed about different aspects of chemical reaction. That's basically organic reactions. So substitution, elimination, addition, and rearrangement reactions we have seen. We also had seen different reaction intermediates and their stabilities. Now, what we will do is we will discuss one by one different types of substitution reactions. So, first type in this substitution reaction is nucleophilic substitution. So nucleophilic substitution means substitution in general means a replacement of a group by a more powerful group, like that should be the nucleophile. The simplest example which I would like to give is of chloromethane. Now this chloromethane, if I can replace this chlorine or for that matter hydrogen also with a more powerful nucleophile, say OH minus, then what happens is the Cl minus is replaced by OH minus. So this is substitution. So this type of reaction results in substitution reaction. In general, we should know the strength of nucleophile is like this. CH3 minus is most powerful nucleophile in second period. Then NH2 minus. Then we have OH minus. Then F minus. And we also should know SH minus is a better nucleophile than OH minus. Similarly, pH phosphide ion, sorry, phosphine ion is more nucleophilic than amide ion, phosphide ion. Like this, so this is a general nucleophilicity order. So now, in presence of OH minus, what exactly happens is the replacement of a poor nucleophile, that is chlorine. So this is a nucleophilic substitution. So a more powerful nucleophile, that is OH minus, is replacing the Cl minus. So minus Cl minus. So here essentially Cl minus will come out. So this generally this process is brought about by reagents like aqueous KOH, NaOH, that also should be aqueous, or it can also be, you can say, Ki, KCN, all these type of ionic compounds which can furnish a good concentration of nucleophiles is used. So general mechanism I would like to discuss here. General mechanism, if we see, it is going to be, say, C H H HCl plus OH minus. As this OH minus attacks this carbon, why it should attack this carbon? Simply because of the polarization of this bond. Due to presence of this chlorine, this carbon develops partial positive charge as a consequence of induction. So naturally this nucleophile will attack. Naturally this nucleophile that is going to attack this carbon will uh, give rise to a compound. It's not a compound, actually it's a species now. It's a transition species which will have Cl minus going away from the carbon and OH minus that is establishing the bond. So this particular species which is getting formed is called transition state, or it's a transition species. This cannot be isolated, and in this particular transition state the hybridization of carbon is expected to be sp2. whereas in case of reactant it is sp3. So now this transition state undergoes change, or you can say this undergoes rearrangement or change in its structure and forms H, OH, H, H. In this way I get methanol. So in this whole process what has happened is strong nucleophile has replaced the weak nucleophile, and we have experimentally observed rate in such reactions is proportional to concentration of reactant R and also concentration of nucleophile. Here it is nucleophile is OH minus. So because it is dependent on both, it is expected to be bimolecular reaction. So that's why it is also called as SN2. Second, nucleophilic substitution of bimolecular type. So for this reaction, certain conditions are always favorable. The presence of polar solvent is a favorable condition. Okay. Better than polar solvent is actually non-polar solvent, because the intermediate involved is the transition state. Non-polar or polar aprotic. Basically aprotic solvent is needed. Even if it is polar, it's okay, but aprotic solvent is needed. What happens in protic solvents is, protic solvents generally tend to form bond with nucleophile. Protic solvents furnish H plus, which will try to bond with nucleophile, hence reducing the reactivity of nucleophile. So this reaction rate gets reduced. That's why we always prefer non-polar or weakly polar or polar aprotic solvents in this case. And in general, primary RX, RX in the sense alkyl halides, primary alkyl halides, like we have taken here methyl chloride or chloromethane we have taken. So basically primary carbon, nucleophile attached to primary carbon will show higher tendency to show this type of reaction than secondary, then tertiary. Tertiary does not show this type of reaction wherein nucleophile attacks the first. So we will see now what happens if it is tertiary. So in case of tertiary, we have CH3, C, Cl, same Cl, CH3, CH3. This compound, because of its availability of 3,3 methyl groups attached to this carbon, has a higher tendency to undergo ionization first. CH3, CH3 plus, and it will become Cl minus. Now this process takes place first. So even if you provide nucleophile OH minus in this with this compound, the process is such that it forms first carbocation, then OH minus. This OH minus will naturally attack the carbocation and it will form CH3, 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 OH. So this type of product is formed. So here what is happening? First the leaving group, the Cl was leaving group. Leaving group means the group which is supposed to be replaced. So that is going first. Then nucleophile is attacking. So this type of reaction is slightly different. Though both are nucleophilic substitution only, but this is slightly different. Here rate is proportional to reactant R alone. So here rate is not dependent upon the concentration of the nucleophile. So generally low concentration of nucleophile favors this reaction, actually favors this reaction. That's the unique feature. uh, this is unimolecular because it depends only on substrate molecule, unimolecular. So it's also called as SN1, nucleophilic substitution of unimolecular type. And here solvent, regarding solvent, if we are to say polar or protic solvents favor this reaction. Why polar solvents favor? Let me tell you. This is a carbocation. Well developed charge is present here. So polar solvent and polar protic solvents solvate this ion. So as a consequence, the formation of carbocation is favored. So protic solvents favor this reaction. So this is a nucleophilic substitution. Okay. So both are important. In general, we will be getting any of the two types only. For your benefit, we will solve 2-3 questions here. Question: write products for. What is this DMSO? DMSO is a polar solvent actually. Polar solvent, that is dimethyl sulfoxide, PH3, PH3. This is dimethyl sulfoxide. It is called as DMSO. So this is the first question. Second question would be, so these are the questions. Now you can pause and write answers also, but for the sake of saving time, I will straight away discuss the answers. So simple. So there is a double bond here in the first molecule, but this is a OH minus in polar solvent. So naturally this will attack this carbon, and this will shift on to Br, this bond. So you will get OH. So this will be the product. Now it is not important for us to recognize whether it is SN1 or SN2, that is bimolecular, that is the first type, or the second type. It's not so essential now only. That will be dealt in second year part. But for us, we should be able to recognize the nucleophile present in the reagent, and also be able to replace the nucleophile in the reactant. So here in the second one, very simple. You have to just attack OH minus onto the carbon carrying halogen. Naturally, that will be pushed out. Halogen will be pushed out, and you get OH. And here again, we have benzene ring, and it will form a carbocation because this carbocation is very stable. And then Cn minus attacks here. So this carbocation will be converted to CN. So this will be the product. Here also, because this is a tertiary carbon, first Br will go, then will form a carbocation. So this will be a carbocation first, and then the carbocation will be attacked by OH minus here, so it will become OH. So like this, you should be able to write the product. This is nucleophilic substitution. Next type is electrophilic substitution. So second type what we are going to discuss is second type. Let me convert it to white color. Yeah. Second type is electrophilic substitution. Electrophilic substitution. So for electrophilic substitution, we use electrophiles. We have already discussed what are electrophiles. Electrophiles are electron deficient species. So most important electrophilic substitution occurs in benzene ring. For unique reasons, this benzene ring, though it has a double bond, it shows a reaction of a saturated compound, that is substitution. In general, substitution is shown by saturated compounds. Now, saturated compounds, we have already seen that they show nucleophilic substitution, as we have discussed in the previous case. Now, electrophilic substitution is shown by this benzene ring and benzene derivatives, which show special behavior of a substitution reaction as a saturated compound. And this reaction shown by benzene is a justification for extra stability of benzene ring, which is due to extraordinary resonance energy. So further details about the stability of benzene ring will be dealt in separate topic elsewhere. So for time being, what we do is we consider an electrophile E. Generally, suppose compound Ea is there. If it undergoes heterolysis, then there is a possibility that you get E plus and A minus, in case electronegativity of A is greater than electronegativity of E. So in such case only you get this. Suppose this electrophile happen to interact with the benzene ring, then what happens? This double bond shifts to the electrophile. That means it forms a bond with the electrophile, and when this double bond shifts, then naturally positive charge comes on this carbon, so you get positive charge over here, and there is a double bond here, and this bond now has a new connection to electrophile E. Now positive charge on electrophile is nullified because now the bond pair electrons of this is donated to electrophile, and there is one hydrogen here which is not shown here, but it is present. Now once you have this hydrogen, now this is an intermediate. Now this is called uranium ion, and this the intermediate has a resonance also. So this bond can shift here, giving rise to positive charge here and EH. Similarly, this bond can shift here, resulting in EH plus. So basically you get a resonance hybrid of this type. So this carbon atom is actually sp3 hybrid now, because it has 4 bonds. unlike other carbons. This carbon is a sp3 atom now. So because it is sp3, we have this problem that positive charge is not able to cross over this carbon. So it's a like a back and forth type of resonance. So now what happens is there is A minus here, which had separated from E, forming electrophile. So that A minus will abstract this proton here. Now this proton, once abstracted, this bond pair becomes the pi bond there and results in a stable benzene ring with an E. Now if you see, in this molecule there was hydrogen here. Now that hydrogen is replaced by electrophile E. So now because this electrophile has replaced the hydrogen, it's called substitution. Because it's the electrophile which is substituting the hydrogen, it's called electrophilic substitution. And this is one of the most important reactions in benzene and aromatic chemistry. So we will keep this in mind, and this will be very useful in our future discussions. So for this, to give some example based on this type of reaction, I would discuss 2-3 questions here. Write products. Basically, we need to, for following electrophilic substitution reactions. So basically, we should be able to identify the electrophile here. Suppose this is the benzene ring. Plus CH3, CH2, Cl in presence of AlCl3. Second, so 6 questions I have given here. So one by one I will solve it now. By default AlCl3 means they will give anhydrous AlCl3 only. because otherwise it cannot act as a Lewis acid. Only anhydrous AlCl3 will be Lewis acid. So basically we need a Lewis acid here. So what happens when this RCl reacts with AlCl3 is it will generate a electrophile like this. AlCl4 minus CH3 CH2 plus. So if it is in general, if it is a general alkyl group R, it will become R plus. So now this is the electrophile. Then according to our mechanism, what should happen is this double bond. So I will show here. This double bond will attack this carbocation. So it will form an intermediate, that is uranium ion. So it's not that only this double bond, any double bond, any one double bond will attack. So all are identical there. CH2, CH3 plus, and there is double bond here. So this is uranium ion. Then there is one hydrogen here. Now if this hydrogen is abstracted by this AlCl4 minus, so AlCl4 minus will abstract this proton and it will result in formation of CH2, CH3. Alkyl benzene ring is, alkyl benzene is formed, ethyl benzene. The second question, if you see, this is a special electrophile. I have already given you electrophile. In general, it will be Cl minus, which will be the nucleophile interacting with this electrophile. So this is called benzene diazonium chloride. Benzene diazonium chloride. So this benzene diazonium chloride has N2 plus ion, diazo group. So this is the electrophile, and here you see in this substrate there is a key. The point is this lone pair has resonance actually. As a consequence, what happens is ortho point, that is second and sixth position and fourth position, will have higher electron density. This we have already discussed in our regular classes, and you should know resonance uh, structure. So here fourth carbon will have highest electron density, even second and fourth, second and sixth. Now, owing to the symmetrical point here, the electrophile attacks at this particular carbon. So this gives rise to product like this actually. So I just have tilted the compound NH2 N double bond N. So this will be the product, and this is called this actually it's a dye. Dye means it has a color. It's an orange dye. Okay, so about which you will learn later. Next question. So basically in the previous one, the electrophile is this benzene diazonium ion. You should know that, and it's going to attack at fourth position because of the plus R effect of NH2. Similarly here, this reagent HNO3 and H2SO4 will furnish NO2 plus, which is nitronium ion, and this electrophile will get attached at again fourth position here, because this CH3 offers hyperconjugation. As a consequence of hyperconjugation, second, fourth and sixth carbon atoms will attain higher negative charge. So NO2 will get attached to the fourth position, CH3 here, NO2 here. Okay, next compound. So next here we have this cyclic compound, and here you see this is a alkylated benzene ring. So because of this alkyl, here there are two alpha hydrogens. So as a consequence, again second, sixth and fourth position will have higher electron density. Now because this is a cyclic compound, and the reagent, the FeBr3 or AlCl3, is going to act at this carbon only. So it's going to generate this type of molecule plus. So this will be the electrophile AlCl3Br minus. Now next thing is attack of this electrophile at this carbon, because it forms a cyclic ring, if you see. And obviously there is one hydrogen which on abstraction by this particular anion gives rise to this type of compound, which will be a fused compound actually. So this will be the product. Okay. So next compound, see here, the substrate, if you see, there is a lone pair here. As a consequence, this benzene ring will have higher electron density at second, sixth and fourth carbon atom, and this particular reagent gives us Br plus and CH3 COO minus, also HBr. So like this. So basically Br plus bromonium ion is formed by this. So this is an electrophile now. This electrophile will naturally attack at fourth position. See, mechanism is not what I am trying to show here. Here I am just trying to give you the answers. Mechanism is exactly as we have discussed in our discussion on mechanism. So this is going to be the product. So this can be attained simply by attacking this particular bond onto bromine. So here again AlCl3 and CH3COCl will give CH3 C double bond O plus cation and AlCl3 AlCl4 minus anion. Now COCH3, this COCH3 is a ketone here. So what happens is at second, fourth and sixth position you will get a positive charge as a consequence of minus R effect. So what happens is comparatively third and fifth position will have higher electron density. So this electrophile will get attached to one of the two positions. So you will get COCH3. I just have tilted the molecule here, and there is C double bond O CH3 CH3. So this will be the product. So basically this reaction wherein we have used RCOCl, that is oil halides, along with AlCl3 is called Friedel-Crafts acylation. Friedel-Crafts acylation. It's a special name because of the scientist. And similarly, the first reaction which I have shown, RCl, this is actually alkyl halide in terms of AlCl3. This reaction is called Friedel-Crafts acylation, alkylation. So these are some reactions which we need to know. So that's about electrophilic substitution. Next, what we are going to see is free radical substitution. Free radical substitution. So here free radicals are involved. So you can say this reaction we have already learned in 10th, that is halogenation of alkanes. Famous reaction, halogenation of alkanes. So say CH4 is an alkane, in presence of Cl2 and sunlight gives CH3Cl plus HCl. This reaction is actually through free radical substitution. What exactly happens here is Cl2 in presence of sunlight undergoes homolytic cleavage and forms two chlorine radicals. The behavior of radical is such that it will generate a new radical actually. So when this chlorine radical reacts with CH4, it generates another radical, that is CH3 radical plus HCl. Now if this CH3 radical comes across a Cl radical, it will form CH3Cl. Again, this is one way. Another way is the CH3 radical reacts with another Cl2. This is one way, but this reaction gives rise to termination of the process actually. In general, in reality, it doesn't happen like that. This CH3 radical will react with the next molecule of chlorine, generating CH3Cl plus Cl radical. Now, this type of reaction goes on. This is called propagation step. Propagation of reaction. This will continue as long as the reactant is available. Now, it's not that this is the only product. It can also happen that CH3Cl reacts with a Cl radical. In this case, what happens? It will generate Cl radical plus HCl. Now, this CH2Cl radical, if it reacts with another chlorine, will form CH2Cl2 plus Cl radical. So like this, the process will go on, and at the end you get CCl4. So this reaction is not very good reaction to generate any of these products because of the multiple products obtained. And all these products which are obtained in this reaction, for example, you will get CH3Cl, chloromethane, CH2Cl2, then you get CHCl3 which is chloroform, then last CCl4. All these are separated using distillation, or you can say fractional distillation, because they have different boiling points, so you can separate them. But still, this reaction is not considered to be a very good reaction. But the point of discussion here for us was free radical substitution, and we have discussed it. Okay. The next type of reaction is, that is B, elimination. Elimination reactions. Elimination reaction. Okay. So this elimination reaction gives rise to unsaturated compound. So saturated compounds are converted to unsaturated ones. Unsaturated compound. That is the specialty of elimination. Among all types of elimination, we have beta elimination, which is very important. We will understand this beta elimination, and that will be sufficient for this year. Okay. So in general, let me take a compound CH3 CH2Cl plus alcoholic KOH. See, in organic reactions in the sense reagents are very important. In our nucleophilic substitution reaction discussion, we have seen aqueous KOH. So that's here somewhere in the beginning where we had discussed here we had discussed aqueous KOH. Now we have alcoholic KOH. Alcoholic KOH means it's ethanolic KOH. We use ethanol as the solvent also. So now here what happens is we get the eliminated product, that is CH2 double bond CH2 plus KCl plus H2O. This will be the product. So here you see we have got an unsaturated compound, which is ethene. So such reactions are called elimination reaction, and this is a beta elimination also. Let me explain what is this beta elimination. CH, H, Cl, H. So in presence of alcoholic KOH, same OH minus. Now here in presence of alcoholic medium, this OH minus is more or less backed by alcohol C2H5O minus ion also, which is going to act as a base. So here we need a base actually. Though these species are negatively charged and you may think they are nucleophiles, they are also bases. Now what is the difference between a base and a nucleophile? Base actually attacks proton, but nucleophile attacks carbocation. So anion, if it attacks carbon, positively charged carbon, then it is a nucleophile. If it attacks positively charged hydrogen, then it is base. So here what happens is this OH minus attacks this hydrogen, which is a special hydrogen. Why it is special? Because this Cl is attached to this carbon, this is alpha carbon. Carbon next to alpha carbon is beta carbon. And hydrogen attached to beta hydrogen, hydrogen attached to beta carbon is actually beta hydrogen. So this carbon is acidic carbon actually because of the minus I effect of this Cl. So minus I effect of Cl gives rise to acidic character of this beta carbon. So this hydrogen can be easily removed. Once this hydrogen is removed, this bond here collapses to this carbon-carbon double bond, and this bond is pushed on to chlorine. So here also again, this base, whatever OH minus is there, this is attacking first. So it is going to form C double bond C, H, H, H and H. Now Cl minus has come out and there is K plus in the medium, so that forms a KCl, and there is H2O also because this OH minus has abstracted the proton. So now you got this ethane. So this is the simple mechanism of elimination, and every time beta hydrogen is being eliminated, so it's a beta elimination. Okay, so here some important features of beta eliminations are there which will be understood by solving questions. Along with alcoholic KOH, we can also use NaNH2, which is also a powerful base. Sodamide it is called. Even concentrated H2SO4 even concentrated H2SO4 also acts as a eliminating reagent actually. Dehydration reaction it is called. Now you see here OH minus has to attack beta hydrogen. Now this is alpha. There are two beta hydrogens, but we remove this hydrogen. Why we remove this hydrogen is because the double bond formed in this case will be more substituted. That means this will have a higher number of methyl groups attached. As a consequence, they will have higher hyperconjugation structures, which will render this molecule more stable compared to the other one. If I abstract the other beta hydrogen, if I abstract this beta hydrogen here, this hydrogen here, then I get double bond here. So this will be the minor and this will be the major. So this same phenomena is stated as a rule called as Seydt-Jeps rule. Seydt-Jeps rule. What it says, double bond is formed such that it is most substituted. So always double bond will be formed such that it has maximum number of substitutions, and it has maximum number of branches. So this maximum number of branches gives rise to more number of alpha hydrogens and more number of alpha carbon. Because more number of alpha hydrogen is there, there will be more number of hyperconjugation structures. Hence, it becomes more stable. So this phenomena is very important. So whenever we perform elimination reaction, we should keep in mind to form most substituted double bond, because that's the meaning when we say Seydt-Jeps elimination. This minor formed is also important, and this is called Hoffman product. Hoffman product. about which we will learn in detail in our further discussions. Not in this video, maybe in some other video. So again, here in second question, NaNH2, there are no hydrogen at this carbon, only here. So there is only one possibility, and the product will be like this. So it will form NaBr and NH3. So here you see, for discussing third question, we will take the example of H2SO4 acting as a eliminating reagent, that is dehydrating agent, HSO4 minus. Now you see, this H plus actually is a electrophile. Now this is a alcohol, so this can actually act as a nucleophile and attack on proton. So here, rather than HSO4 minus attacking, H plus attacks the alcohol. So it forms this type of molecule, which is called protonated alcohol. Protonated alcohol. This protonated alcohol is very unstable, and it is ready to lose this bond to this oxygen such that it loses water and forms a carbocation like this. Now you see, this carbocation has acidic carbons here, which is alpha carbon to this carbocation. But for this alcohol, this is beta carbon only for this molecule. So again, this is also a beta elimination, though this is an alpha carbon for this carbocation. So now what happens is, this hydrogen, which is alpha hydrogen, is busy in hyperconjugation. Meanwhile, HSO4 minus, which is a powerful base also, abstracts this proton and causes this particular bond to collapse here, forming what is called as alkene, that is cyclohexene. So this phenomena in which H2SO4 is removing water is called dehydration reaction. Dehydration, which is also elimination. This dehydration is generally at high temperature, 443 Kelvin or more. At lower temperature, H2SO4 gives a different reaction. So here it's very important. So with this, what I do is, I also give you an important note. Higher temperature always favors elimination reactions. Not only through dehydration, even for beta elimination, as we discussed above here, higher temperature is always a plus point. So higher temperature always favors elimination reaction. So in this we discussed Saint-Jepes elimination, and also we discussed dehydration. Okay, so one last note. This is again a note because I don't want to discuss it in detail now only. So as we go ahead, we will be encountering it. When we have bulky base prefers most exposed hydrogen and causes Hoffman elimination. That means it will not react as per Saint-Jepes rule, rather it reacts oppositely. So simple example I will discuss here. Say the compound is like this. Cl, and there is tertiary butoxide. So this is tertiary butoxide, potassium tertiary butoxide. This will give this as a anion, and this anion is a very bulky base. So what it will do, it cannot see, there are, for this particular molecule there is one beta carbon here, and there is one also beta carbon here. Now in earlier case, when we would use alcoholic KOH, the base was OH minus and it was very mobile, so it could approach this carbon and remove this hydrogen. But now this particular bulky base cannot actually approach this carbon. So what it will do, it will remove hydrogen from most exposed beta carbon. So most exposed beta carbon is what? Most exposed beta carbon is this one. So hydrogen attached to that will be removed by this bulky base. So it will remove this hydrogen and cause this bond to collapse here. So that will give rise to this type of product, which is having a double bond, which is less substituted double bond. So that means it has only one alkyl group attached. You see, that means it's not very stable. But still, because this base is very bulky, this product will be the major. Okay, minor product will surely come, which is this product, but this will be a minor since the base is bulky. So this completes our discussion on elimination reaction. So in next video, what we will do is we will discuss addition reaction and rearrangement reaction. After that, we will talk upon alkanes and alkenes, etc. Okay, thank you.